Welcome back to Watching the Throne on the Late Night Chat Network, episode 65. All right, welcome back, everybody. What's going on, Jay?
Welcome back. What's up, buddy?
Not much. We're here again, recording in my studio here.
The wee hours.
The wee hours of the morning.
The real night chat.
Yeah, and I'm here to record some more episodes of Watching the Throne here for you guys. And yeah, we're just making our way through these, man. We got 3 more episodes to go, including this one in season 7. And then we're on to season 8, the final season. And we can make it official now. We'll actually have a returning overdue guest who hasn't been on for the last couple of seasons due to, I guess, her own personal life and making the family a little bit bigger there, having a kid. But that's Christina. She'll be joining us here for all of season 8, the final season. And if anybody, for you longtime fans of Late Night Chat, or maybe if you don't remember, that's okay. I'll remind you, because it was some time ago, almost 5 years ago to be exact, when Game of Thrones originally ended. Christina came on, I think it was like somewhere in the teens, maybe even episode 20, somewhere around there. And we're at over 250 episodes of Late Night Chat now, 5 years later. So just think of it that way. Christina came on and she actually talked about the finale of Game of Thrones at that time. And Jay was not a fan of Game of Thrones at that time. So the fun thing about that is, this will be her revisiting the last season, which she's done since then. And we'll see if she has any different thoughts on it this time around. And we'll actually be going back to even listen to the podcast where I originally gave my thoughts on the ending, and so did she. We're all going to go back and listen to it after we finish the season, so we can kind of compare and see how we feel about it now, right? Like, it'll be kind of cool to do because
interesting. That's I wanted to actually. That's what I told him. I told Nico just before the last episode. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back, or maybe even after just before the last episode. I'm going to go back to watch listen to our podcast about that, and just to see what their views were and their perspectives, because both of them had some pretty, different. I can't remember, but if I remember correctly, they had their own opinions of it at the time. So I'd like to see what they think, if anything has changed. If
that'll be interesting, because for once we actually can go back in the archives and actually look at this thing, it's like a little time capsule of it's on the record how we felt about it that first time around. Because that was she came on the show directly after the finale of the show at that time, and we were both big fans at that time. So it'll be interesting to kind of hear how our opinions have changed 5 years later after having watched the finale for the first time around, right? And let me just change my name here because it says Nico. I just noticed.
No, it's funny too, because you don't know. I mean, she's probably watched it a few more times than you have since then. But I know this is just your second time. It'll be my first time, so there'll be a lot of different perspectives on it. And different for the last episode.
Yeah.
For the whole last season, probably.
No, it'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And, we're happy to make it happen. Obviously, I think she had done a lot of episodes with us as a super fan guest, of course, on the show here. And we've just confirmed she wants to join us for the all of the last season, all 6 episodes. So that'll be a lot of fun. We're going to be recording that with her. So if you guys are a fan of Christina on the show, definitely make sure to check those episodes out when we get to season 8. And then after that, it's on to House of the Dragon, guys. I mean, they haven't confirmed the date as of yet. They keep saying that it's coming back this summer. They just keep saying summer 2024. But hopefully by the time we're done recording these episodes, they will have announced that date for you guys here. And if not, though, stay tuned. We will be doing a House of the Dragon show, going through the first season of House of the Dragon directly after we finish this, and which leading us right into season 2 as it premieres this summer. And we're hoping to do a live kind of thing at that time, following up every week after the shows air. And it'll be really interesting because everybody will have been seeing those shows for the first time.
Yeah.
We'll all be on the same page, and we won't actually be able to kind of decide, we won't be able to go into as in depth, I think, as we are with these shows here, because we're able to kind of go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
We'll have probably less time, but it'll be nice to kind of get our initial reactions on those episodes too, right?
Those are always the fun reactions too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could see me sometimes when I'm telling you. It got harder once we started recording like 3 episodes, and I had to remember them all. But when I was watching them, we were watching 1 or 2 at a time. It was getting like crazy.
Oh, we've only done that the last couple of times.
Yeah, I know. I've had to go back to my show, because
we're getting down to the last bit here, though, right?
Wire,
so
it's like a lot of cram shit, and then this last little bit, man. These guys are making it easy for me.
No.
Man.
So
like teachers to me.
So this is episode 65 of Watching the Throne, but it is we are going to be discussing Game of Thrones season 7, episode 5 here today, Eastwatch. And like I said, this only goes up to 7 episodes this season and 6 the next. So yeah, Jay, we're down to the final episodes here. How you feeling about this? What do you think of this episode?
It's been this one is there's a few things. Everything's starting to slowly. I'm starting to realize that you got to really pay attention because, like we said, I think we said in the previous one that stuff's starting to speed up.
Yeah.
So there's more stuff happening in an episode, and you gotta try to make sure you realize where this game is going, right? Because it really is. You're starting to see that it really is a game and how it's played and how they're playing at each one of these people, right? So, it's nice to see how
everything's coming together. Yeah.
And it's interesting because you always start seeing people from other episodes you haven't seen in a while, things that are brought up from old episodes.
You know what? I'm quite enjoying the show still at this point. Like
I don't even want to write it down. That's how much I'm enjoying it. I'm so excited.
There is a lot happening. I think my criticism still stands and most fans' criticism of how they sped things up at this point in time. And it's kind of like you do get to spend less time kind of building certain storylines and stuff like that. Like I get that. But again, we're talking about there's 6 seasons worth of stuff of coming together finally now in this season. Like we're having characters from halfway across the world that have never met each other or have heard of each other or you know what I mean? Like how long do you guys want these plots to play out? Right. Like honestly, there is some people and some things that happen over the next couple episodes that round out this season that bring folks together, which make absolute sense that it's finally happening this way.
Sense and no sense in the whole series. Like this is what I'm starting to realize too. That I mean, that's where I said it's like a game, right? It is. I mean, there's a reason why they call it the Game of Thrones, right? But I would think it's a word play on names for the show. But I'm just still thinking that this is the way it's going. You still can't trust everybody. I know there's only after we're done these next 3 episodes, there's only 6 left.
Yeah.
But I mean, they really.
Well, I can't speak on that. That last season's a blur for me. Like, I'm really looking forward to watching that season because
even though it's probably the one that you've seen the most recently,
it's still a blur. It's still a blur because remember, it's only 6 episodes. Mm-hmm. Things happen so quickly. The only things I really remember from the last season are some of the big beats. Obviously, have how certain things resolve. Mm-hmm. But I told you, like, once we got into this season, like, this is a little bit unknown territory for me because I don't remember a lot of this stuff because we waited so long for these last 2 seasons to come out and there was fewer episodes. So I feel like, I ended up watching them and the things are moving so quickly that I forgot a lot of there's so many things that happen every episode. Like this are my notes, like the pages I have to print out to put these things together. Have doubled essentially because and it's not even like these are all important scenes. It's just like this happens and instead of like 10-minute scenes with characters, you're getting 2-minute scenes with characters. Like and then and they're touching on certain characters 3 or 4 times throughout the same episode. Like you see them and then you go back to them 10 minutes later and then you get a little bit more of that story and then they go back to them. Like
they've got further away,
which is weird because the pacing prior to this in previous seasons was always like you get a chunk of a certain character. It wouldn't happen as often where you'd circle back and see the same group of characters more than once in an episode, maybe twice. But in this one, you're seeing people travel fucking across the sea in the matter of like 20 seconds of the show. Like, you
So
know
I
what I
mean,
mean? Like,
I
so like
I've
it's
seen them do this in like series that only get like a one season or a three season
yes,
plot. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I've seen them do this, and so
yeah.
it almost seems like it almost seems like it's a rush now.
Right. It is, but it is.
It is. I know.
And honestly, like I get it. Like
But how?
I think it would have helped if they made it 10 episodes like they had made every other season or whatever. 12. No, I think it's 10
But
episodes.
also, how much time do we have to spend with everybody again? We've already built up good
I,
character rapport with most people.
that's what I mean. I think some of the stuff of everybody coming together, it didn't bug me as much this time around. Like for whatever reason, but maybe it's because I've come to expect that because I know that's what happens. But for you think are you still satisfied with like what's happening overall, or
Like
like
I mean, I like I said, I feel like it is being thrown together quicker.
yeah,
But and like they do because they do. I do tend to watch a lot of shows that are just 1 to 3 seasons, right? That are quick, and I see how the way that they played it the last season, and they rush everything the storyline in together quickly, and maybe they had to do that. Plus, they probably made a lot more money that way
yeah,
on these last few seasons, right? Because there was more fan base to this thing, right?
right.
So I can see them. They had to get. You know what, dude? If you were the actor, how much more of this could you take? I know you're getting paid big bucks, but really,
No,
bro.
no, no. No,
I,
I don't think the actors are trying to go
no,
anywhere. No, no, no,
no.
no, no. This is the role of a fucking lifetime,
But it
this
was a
show,
payday
bro.
thing. Still, it was always a
They
payday
weren't
thing. Come
getting
on.
paid all that much.
Yeah,
HBO is notoriously pretty cheap from what
cheap.
I've heard. But like again, this is one of those shows that you hope for big opportunities after you leave them, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
which unfortunately isn't the case for everybody. Sometimes you get typecasted, right? But like sometimes you get like, people are like, sometimes you're so big on a certain show, there's nothing that's ever going to top that. And then you go off and you do smaller projects that people don't really notice you
Yeah,
on, right?
yeah,
That happens too, right? Which
yeah.
I think you could say for a lot of the characters on this show,
Yeah, like I
right?
said, that's what I
So
mean. Like we didn't have to. We don't have to spend that much more time with the characters. We have spent a lot of time with each character throughout the
yeah,
seasons. So maybe that's why it's getting put together so quickly.
like I think the person that you've
But when
probably
you're fighting, bro. I mean,
the
that's
person probably in most recent years, I think that's blown up on this show, that's from this show the most, are some of the people with the smaller roles, like Bella Ramsey or fucking what's his name, your boy there from
yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
one from The Last of Us,
From
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah,
Yeah, who just got announced as Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four movie that's going to be coming out the next year from
he's
fucking Marvel.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Bro.
there you go. So, anyways, let's get into it without further ado, though. Here, so yeah, Eastwatch. So
Remember
first,
where we left off last
yeah,
time, eh?
first scene in the aftermath of the Battle of the Gold Road, Sir Bronn pulls Jaime Lannister from the depths of Blackwater Rush, and as Jay is referring to, he jumped out of he pushed him out of the way of Daenerys's dragon getting burned to a fucking crisp last episode. At the end of it, we see Bronn rush in, throw him in the water, and you see kind of Jaime almost like drowning in the water because he goes so deep into this pool of water that he ends up in. And then the episode just ends. You don't know if he's dead or what, right? So here we are,
like most episodes.
Yeah, he's pulling him out of the water in here. After Jaime's failed attempt to slay Daenerys Targaryen and end the war, Bronn tells Jaime the only reason he rescued him is that nobody gets to kill him until Bronn gets the reward he's due from the Lannisters. Jaime, shell-shocked, remarks on the destructive power Drogon alone unleashed and realizes that they are in great danger if Daenerys deploys all three in future battles. Bronn assures that he won't be around for such an assault as Jaime laments his duty to report what happened to Cersei. Bronn thinks it would be safer for him to jump back into the river than deal with Cersei's wrath. Yeah,
it would be, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, I would think so. I'd be a little bit nervous to go talk to Cersei after this shit.
I love Bronn. I'm so glad he didn't get killed in that scene because like they could have easily killed him.
So cool too.
Yeah,
man. He says, nobody gets to kill you but me.
Yeah. Because it's true.
And anybody's gonna kill you, it's me, or some shit. His quote was, yeah.
Bronn has always made that clear that he's there for the payday. Like he's always, despite him having an affection for Tyrion and like being friends with him, even though they have a very complicated relationship, at the end of the day, he's still looking out for number one. He's always made that clear, and that's what I like about that character.
Yeah,
is that he's always made that clear that that's the case, right? So yeah, so. That was really.
And he still keeps to the that's what he keeps to the point. That's his thing too.
Yeah,
he's not just said it once the whole series.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's made it clear that this is what he's there for.
Meanwhile, on the Gold Road, Tyrion Lannister grimly assesses the carnage of the battle, seeing
Poor
the
guy.
ashes of wagons, horses, and Lannister soldiers.
You get a lot of full shots now of fucking Tyrion, like full body shots where he's walking through stuff,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of neat.
The prisoners
weird
of
way.
war are being herded by the Dothraki to Daenerys,
Fuck.
with Drogon apparently none the worse from taking a scorpion bolt to the shoulder, perched behind her menacingly and majestically. Daenerys appeals to them, bringing up the rumors spread about her by Queen Cersei and warnings of brutality the Dragon Queen would bring, burning down homes and murdering families. She assures them that she is not here to murder, but to destroy the wheel of power that rules over the rich and poor alike, to no one's benefit but people like Cersei Lannister. She offers them a choice. And here we go. Let's get that counter ready, guys. Bend the knee and join her in her quest to make the world a better place. There's never bending the knee is the first mention of it this episode than ever before.
Now I keep every time I hear that in the episode, I think of you. There's a few things now that I've picked up along the way. Yeah.
Or refuse and die. Tyrion looks at her apprehensively upon hearing this. Only a few kneel at first. Drogon, apparently insulted by the refusal to accept his mother's command, bellows at them, and most of them quickly yield after that. However, fucking right. Randall Tarly, his son Dickon, and a handful of men refuse.
I love that name.
Yeah, Dickon. Daenerys summons Randall forward, where he insists he already has a queen. Tyrion recalls he didn't pledge to Cersei until recently, and that she murdered the rightful queen, destroying House Tyrell for good. He observes Randall's allegiances are flexible, to which Randall answers that there are no easy choices in war. He tells Tyrion that Cersei is at least a true Westerosi, and that Tyrion is a kinslayer, having killed his father, as well as supporting a foreigner, bringing savages to their continent. Daenerys accepts Randall's answer and prepares to carry out a sentence, but Tyrion intervenes with the possibility of sending Randall, a skilled warrior, to the wall instead of death. Randall replies Daenerys cannot send him to the wall as she is not his queen. Bro, this guy has balls. That's all I gotta say. Kind of stupid though, because like Tyrion keeps trying to help this fucking guy, and he's just like, yeah, no.
He's like literally saying, dude, you're the last of your house.
Yes. Daenerys signals for 3 Dothraki men to apprehend him, but Dickon suddenly speaks up, insisting he will have to be killed too. Randall, horrified, tries to silence his son. Tyrion reminds Dickon that he is the future of House Tarly and insists that if he submit, reminding that what happened to House Tyrell. Randall silently nods in agreement to Dickon, indicating his tactic approval to his heir to bend the knee so Dickon may be spared. Dickon refuses to relent on his decision. Tyrion proposes to Daenerys about having them committed to the cells for a time instead, but Daenerys, being ruthless but pragmatic, does not wish to grant the reputation of putting traitors in chains, or many would take advantage. She resumes her sentencing for them both. As they hold hands, Drogon unleashes his dragonfire, burning Randall and Dickon alive and reducing them both to flame and ash in seconds, killing them instantly. Terrified, the remaining soldiers instantly kneel as Tyrion reflects uneasily over the execution. So what'd you think of this?
Quick question, but how is he the future? Isn't there one more of his sons still kicking around? If I'm not mistaken.
Of the Tarleys?
Yeah.
No.
What's Sam's last name?
Sam?
Yeah.
He's not Tarly.
Isn't he?
No.
I thought he was.
No, I think he's
Samuel
something else.
Tarly. I thought it was.
What's his last name? Sam.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100%.
Game of Thrones.
I just realized that now too, because I was thinking he's not. I thought Sam was one of them, but I could.
Oh
be
yeah,
wrong.
he is. You're right. Yeah, that was his father and his brother. They
went for
wasn't it?
Yeah, remember when they go?
Yeah. You're right.
His mom.
So so he is still alive. That's right. Yeah. No, you're right. I got confused there for a second. So yeah, he's the last of his house now.
Wow, bro.
Because remember they introduced us to his father previously.
Yeah. I think it was at the dinner.
Yeah. Well, that's when he took the sword.
Yeah. And he said, "Fuck it." He
left.
Yeah.
So yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. You're right. I knew his name was Tarly, but I forgot that Dickon was his brother because they didn't really spend much time with him last episode.
I don't even think he was actually. Was he there at the house? I think it was.
He was. He was. He was his father and
met the
name. But it was only that one episode, and then they introduced him again last episode with them fighting for the Lannisters. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So he's the last of his house. Yeah, so
I thought Dickon played another character too.
Or I guess if you count his bastard son, he's also part of it now, right?
True.
But it's not really his son. No. He's his bastard son.
He's
so
his bastard son.
Yeah, so I guess it's not. So
no, it's not even his son. Yeah, he didn't even make it.
He would still have some right to his just like Jon Snow, right?
Yeah.
So anyways.
Well, that's another situation.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Not this episode though.
No, so I know. That's why I'm quiet.
Stay in your lane there, bro.
I'm quiet.
We're talking about this episode. All right. Kind of a bit of the Mad King happening in this scene. A little I don't know. What do you think about this? Do you think it's it's showing who she can become here? That
I don't know, man, because
or do you think it was right for her to do what she did here? Kind of. She's a little bit justified here.
I mean, she does justify herself in saying that she's been freeing people. But
I like how Tyrion's sticking to his ruling by fear never works kind of stance though.
Yeah.
Like, and he's basically he keeps urging her not to fucking lose her cool in these situations, but they are at war.
Yeah. I mean, they've brought up previously about her dad, so we know what he's like, right?
Yeah.
So
death by dragon flame,
family.
That's the worst way to fucking go, bro.
Yeah.
That's got to be the worst way to go.
And you're in metal, like you were saying, and that you're frying, cooking, man, and that metal that metal turns to ash. So it's like, what the holy shit?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And poor dragon, he's just gonna get fired on.
So this next scene, we are back over in King's Landing. Jaime returns to King's Landing to inform Cersei of the defeat. He insists that the Lannisters have no chance of defeating Daenerys, even if Cersei were able to buy enough mercenaries to replace their huge losses. Qyburn's Scorpion did little more than anger Drogon, and neither the Lannister soldiers nor any mercenaries will be able to match the huge horde of Dothraki, who Jaime notes killed their men as if they were sport to them, not war. Cersei snidely asks Jaime if they are expected to surrender to a queen whose throne Cersei occupies and whose father Jaime betrayed and murdered, mockingly remarking that Tyrion could intercede for them with Daenerys as an apology for killing Joffrey and Tywin.
Yeah.
And then Jaime, reveals to Cersei that Tyrion is innocent of Joffrey's murder, something that happened the last time that he got to talk to him. And this is the first that she's hearing of this, telling her Olenna Tyrell confessed to it. Yeah, sorry, Olenna confessed it to him. That's right, when he killed her. Cersei is dismissive of his innocence and all things as usual, so Jaime has to talk her through it, asking her rhetorically if Olenna would prefer Marjorie to marry the strong-willed and sadistic Joffrey or the emotionally pliable and good-natured Tommen. Exactly. Jaime really the only one thinking sensibly at this point in this situation.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. He's actually, he's winning me over, man.
He's a big
first guy.
I mean, like, listen, he leads their army, but he also is not stupid. He realizes we cannot win this war with who we what we have going for us right now, right? Like,
he knows.
He tells her straight,
strategically, right? He's smart, man.
Effectively, Olenna would have become the true ruler of the Seven Kingdoms behind the scenes in the same way that their father, Tywin Lannister, became the true ruler of Westeros through his grandsons. Feeling cheated of yet another vengeance, Cersei can barely contain her fury as she laments listening to Jaime, saying Olenna ought to have died screaming. Jaime says she's dead, nonetheless, along with the rest of House Tyrell, and that they will go the same way unless they are careful. Jaime sees no other path to victory. Tyrion now stands against his own siblings with a foreign invader possessed of a large, fearsome army and 3 ferocious dragons. Cersei dismisses his protests, however, making it plain she intends to fight to the death rather than surrender her throne, and expects the same from Jaime and the rest of the Lannister military.
I find that about this now. For all this series, it was probably prior to this, it was all men's league. You know what I mean? Now it's like women's league turning over. Like they're all the ones in power, and it's like fucking trip.
Here's the thing, though. And this is not to this isn't because I'm making a comment because of this, because she's a woman.
No,
but she's acting out of her feelings here, like the vengeance emotion. She's emotionally reacting,
which is not right.
Exactly. So I think
could be that time of the month.
There you go. You made the comment for me. That's what I said.
I know.
No,
you're lining it up for me, but
yeah, no, it's no. But that's what I mean. I know if I made that comment, people would be like, "Oh, it's because she's a woman."
Yeah.
And listen, yes, they can emotionally act on things, and so can anybody. Yeah. Exactly. But she really is in this situation. But it's also out of like vengeance, like a way, like like hatred.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean. Like she's just really fucking spiteful.
She's
Cersei.
angry at these people, and it doesn't matter if it's the man or a woman that's pissed off. That's pissed her off.
And she's so diluted, like right now at this point, like delusional, that she's not able to see the forest through the trees. Like Jamie's literally sitting there telling her, like, well, this is bad. Like we can't fucking like win this.
Fucking dragons.
Yeah. So, anyways.
This, like she's not getting it. I don't know what she doesn't understand.
Yeah. The king in the north, Jon Snow, is walking on the grounds of Dragonstone Island in this next scene when the Dragon Queen Daenerys arrives on the back of her dragon, Drogon. Drogon roars at Jon at first and stretches out his head to face the king of the north. He calms down and recognizes Jon as a friend of his master and possibly sensing something else. Which...
But dude, this was crazy scene. This was like sick. I even said the scene was the graphics too. They're getting so much better in these last seasons.
Yeah,
I'm going, holy fuck.
Allowing him to stroke his snout, much to Dany's surprise. When Jon Snow, under duress, agrees that the dragons are beautiful beasts, she responds that the dragons are her children. He's like, yes, beautiful beasts. She's like, these are my children.
They're fucking animals. They're beasts. Of course they're beasts.
No, he's like, gorgeous beasts. You know the way he says to that. I would call them beasts too. I mean,
that's what they are, bro. I mean,
she looks so upset when he says that though. She's like, oh, these are my children. Yeah, and the mother of dragons, right? When Jon Snow observes,
what did she do? Lay them?
When Jon Snow observes that she was not gone for long, Daenerys replies that no, she wasn't, and she has now fewer enemies to deal with. Daenerys then asks Jon about the Battle of the Bastards and him taking a knife in the heart for his people, which is what Jorah said before, right? Sorry, Davos. Jon deflects this and replies that Davos Seaworth likes to embellish things. Their conversation is interrupted by the return of a recently healed Jorah Mormont. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, who comes back into the picture here. Daenerys introduces Jorah to Jon, who says he worked under Jorah's father in the Night's Watch. When Jorah reaffirms his allegiance to her, she accepts his offer of service and hugs him. So let me ask you something here. What would have happened here if he misjudged his grayscale being cured? He could have diseased her in this moment, right?
We don't. I mean,
like
she
didn't even ask. Well,
like...
she did. She's like, "Are you're fine now?" And he's like, "Yes." And like, that's a risky fucking move, though, right?
Well, do we even know he's fine? Is he taking that shield off so he can see if there's any shit growing back? But
I just thought to myself in this scene, I'm like, he could have taken her out with that hug if he wasn't actually healed, right?
Even like the Black Plague, he just gives one little cough, everybody's done.
That's right. It's still not modern medicine times.
No antibiotics back then, buddy. Just the milk of the, what do you call it? The
milk of the poppy.
Of the poppy.
Yeah, that's to kill you.
That's heroin, buddy. They don't want to say it.
Exactly.
Nice way of saying it.
And then back at Winterfell at the Godswood in Winterfell there, Bran Stark wargs into a flock of ravens that fly over the wall into the land of always winter. Through the ravens, he sees the army of the dead led by the White Walkers and the Night King traveling south towards Eastwatch by the sea. He continues until the Night King sees the ravens, at which Bran severs the connection. He tells Maester Wolken that they need to send ravens at once.
I like that scene because he looked right at the raven and made it look like he's looking at you at the screen.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? Like it's a
like you said, the graphics have gotten better in this season for sure.
Those blue eyes.
All right, this is a crazy reveal. You ready for this, guys? In Old Town, at the Citadel, a conclave of maesters read Bran Stark's message warning of the army of the dead, but are dismissive of his account. Samwell Tarly, present only to swap out some books, vouches for Bran and tells the maesters that Bran spent several years surviving in the wilds alone. One maester mockingly tells Sam to practice with inscribing instead of entertaining myths and fables. Sam counters that they should use their position as maesters to warn the people to prepare for the coming night. Archmaester Ebros says that Bran's message could be genuine, but could be disinformation spread by Queen Daenerys. The maesters agree to send a letter to Winterfell to investigate Bran's claims further, but as they regard the White Walkers as legendary, being akin to the Children of the Forest and the Drowned God, they clearly want to believe Ebros' misinformation theory. While they agree to investigate Bran's message in further detail, they are skeptical of his claims. After Sam leaves, one of the other Archmaesters asks if it's true that Sam's father and brother were recently burned alive. He confirms this and admits that he hasn't had the heart to tell Sam yet. So this is crazy because these dicks don't fucking tell this guy that his family's dead. To your point, Jay, of what we just witnessed in this episode, and he doesn't know. And yeah, that's just like I thought, like a crazy reveal. Not only are
they're making jokes, too.
yeah. Well, this is the thing. You could have a whole council of the smartest people that apparently that like
but they're all 60.
Yeah, but then meanwhile they don't believe any of his claims of the White Walker shit either, right? And these are supposed to. But you're right. If you're looking at people that are speaking from logic, they're not going to believe some bullshit like this. They're like, this isn't real.
A lot of those guys probably spend a lot of time there at the Citadel there and don't get out much.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They read a lot of books.
Sam's a man of adventure.
Sam's the one who's the one writing the books. He's the Indiana Jones, the one writing. He's the one going out and doing doing the figuring out.
Later, Tyrion and Varys talk about the deaths of Randall and his son Dickon in the Reach. Varys tells Tyrion about how he distanced himself from the Mad King's role in killing Rickard Stark and his son Brandon Stark. Tyrion continues to insist that Daenerys is not her father, and Varys agrees up to a point. Daenerys may not have her father's madness, but she certainly has a growing ruthless streak, which in Varys' view must be curtailed by Tyrion's more pragmatic counsel. They discuss a sealed scroll containing Bran Stark's message from the north, which Varys, of course, read. It's funny because he's like, did you read it? He's like, of course not. It's a sealed scroll. He's like, what did it say? And I mean, he's like, oh, yeah, nothing good.
He's too much, bro.
Of course, because he knows Varys. He's like, okay, come on, you read the fucking thing, right?
Yeah,
he's like,
sealed or
he's
not,
like, I would never do that. Yeah.
Fucking guy.
This is actually, I don't know if you noticed, this is a rare Varys drinking scene. You normally don't see him drinking wine with these guys.
I didn't
right?
even see that. I didn't even know
they were both drinking in this scene. Him and because they've dealt with a lot of loss recently, right? So I think Varys needed some fucking wine along with Tyrion, right? Because you don't normally see them drinking, right? You see Tyrion drinking, you don't see him drinking all necessarily.
Well,
right?
you know them too a little bit, the Tarleys. And when you heard all that stuff.
Who?
No,
they know of them, but not really. Yeah. He's like, did you read it? He's like, it's a sealed scroll for the king in the north. He's like, what's it say? Nothing good. Anyways, later at the chamber of the painted table, Jon tells Daenerys about the news of his half brother Bran and half sister Arya Stark to Winterfell. He wants to go home to Winterfell, concerned by Bran's vision, which warns the army of the dead are getting closer, and Jon is worried the undead army will make it past the wall and advance on in the north. Because he hasn't even seen them yet. He left before they all got there, right? The rest of them. It was just, Sansa they left there. Yeah. Daenerys notes that Jon doesn't have enough men to fight the army of the dead, and Jon asks her again to join him. However, Dany is worried that Cersei will take advantage and march in if she turns her focus to the army of the dead. Tyrion is present and proposes bringing a white south to King's Landing in order to prove that the army of the dead is real and convince Queen Cersei Lannister so they can come to a truce. Great idea, though. Varys says that it is suicide trying to appeal to Cersei, but Tyrion argues that he can persuade his brother Jaime, because that's, they're still
kind of on the, They're still talking.
They're not great right now, but I
talking,
mean,
though.
Not really. They haven't talked since he ran away, but he still thinks he can get him to talk to him, right? That's the thing, right?
Just because fucking Jaime's scared to talk to him right now.
Oh, do you blame him?
Well, yeah, no, he's got a crazy sister. Ex-lover, /lover.
/lover.
Mother of her children.
That's what complicates things, right? All right, so on to the next scene here.
Dun, dun, where are we now? Davos is in Tyrion, right? They just went, right?
Yeah, Davos, as the only one who might be able to smuggle Tyrion into King's Landing, reluctantly agrees, but also thinks such a mission is risky even for a smuggler like him. Jorah volunteers to go north to help capture a white, while Jon volunteers to lead the expedition since the free folk won't follow Jorah, and he is the only one who has the most experience facing their enemy. Apparently on the verge of tears about the idea of Jon leaving, Daenerys responds that she did not give Jon permission to leave, but Jon reminds her that he is the king of the north. He tells her she has the power of life and death over him, but that he trusted her even though she was a stranger. He pleads with her to return the favor by trusting him. She seems to be catching feelings for this guy now.
Being flirty. Come on, bro.
Yeah, they're both
He's trying to fucking swing his cock around.
Pretty much. They both are. Yeah, they both are at this point.
His fucking dead animal on him or whatever.
Listen, she clearly has the hots for him at this point, right? So, I mean, come on.
It gets wet when she stands there.
Later in Winterfell's council chamber, Arya observes her sister presiding over meeting of the Northern Lords, saying that the king in the north should stay in the north. Lord Robert Glover and Lord Jan Royce of the Vale of Arryn imply that they made a mistake in their choice of ruler and that she should take over power in the absence of her half-brother Jon Snow. However, Sansa insists Jon Snow is their true ruler who is doing what he believes is right for their people, and that she is his regent. Okay, these fucking guys in the north gotta calm down, eh? Like, what the fuck is this? This guy's gone for like, okay, maybe he's gone for a while because they just act. It seems not that long because it's because of the way that things are moving now.
It's the next scene.
Even so, Jay, these guys literally just got a fucking new king that they're happy with in the north. And then already they're like, hey, you know what? Fuck this guy. You be in charge. These guys in the north, these guys are never satisfied, eh? I'm sorry. These guys are a little like, they're ready to jump ship like every other second.
I think it's because they want to be the fucking king. Everybody wants to be the fucking king.
Really? Sansa? They think Sansa is going to do a better job than Jon Snow? I mean, she's come on, bro. I mean, she's doing a good job, but like, to take over for Jon?
No, she's only there.
Ridiculous.
As counsel,
that's what I mean.
Yeah. She's made some good choices, but
sure, but come on. Jon in his rousing fucking speeches, this guy goes to deal with business, and they're like, "Oh no, we don't fuck him."
Like, it's taking long for him to come back, man.
Doesn't matter. It's
not just a walk away.
No,
man.
It's bullshit. This is bullshit. Like, what a bunch of fucking turncoats. What is this?
If I had to walk down from the north, bro,
Following the meeting, Sansa confides her frustration in the Northern Lords with Arya, who calls Sansa out for diplomatically handling their concerns instead of shutting the Lords down. I'm on her side. Fuck. She should have just shut them down, man. Like, what's wrong with you guys? Arya thinks that she should not let the Lords get away with insulting Jon and hints at assassinating them.
Sansa's a badass, though. She's fucked up, man.
Sansa disagrees, at which Arya calls attention to the fact that Sansa is using their parents' chambers and that she still thinks she's better than anyone else. Perhaps she even thinks that she will need the support of the Northern Lords if she wishes to seize the North for herself, even if she tries not to think of it. Disturbed at her younger sister's homicidal streak and hurt by the accusations, Sansa tells Arya that she has work to do. Yeah, she's gotten pretty dark, Arya, for sure.
Arya's kind of
jaded.
Switching. She's different, man.
Yeah, she's been through a lot.
Different, right?
She's been through a lot, bro. I mean, they all.
I don't know where to put her on my game board.
She's badass.
I don't know where to She's down here, way.
I hear what you're saying.
I was like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Now she's way up here.
Yeah. She's
catching
moves.
up. She's growing up.
Later, Davos and Tyrion chat about smuggling before embarking on their mission to infiltrate King's Landing. Davos plans to find Gendry, while Tyrion wants to secretly meet with Jaime to find a peaceful solution to the war. Look at this teamwork. I love how these guys all kind of went their own ways and got their shit done here. Eh? This is awesome.
They've been through this before.
Yeah, for sure.
Not dragons, but they've been through this before.
Yeah, for sure.
War, right?
Yeah. But, I like how they kind of all came together and figured out their problems. They literally only had one sit down, and along with the help of Jorah being back in the picture, they were able to figure it all out right there and then, right? I like that. Later, beneath the Red Keep, Bronn pretends to lead Jaime to a sparring session amongst the skulls of the Targaryen dragons, only for him to discover it is really a secret meeting with his estranged brother, Tyrion. Jaime is initially angry that Bronn has arranged the secret meeting. Great bit of acting, too, on his face. He looks fucking pissed when he looks like deceived. Like he led him down there, like saying that it was for something else, but also like conflicted. Like you could tell that he still has love for his brother, but he's like, I can't fucking do nothing. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, he's like,
supposed to do?
You know what I mean? Like, he's like, you're my enemy. Yeah. Like, now, like, he's
if he gets caught with him.
I really liked like the emotion on his face because you could tell that he was pissed, but yet also like has love for him still, but so conflicted in this moment that he doesn't know what to do. Like,
of course.
He's just like, what the fuck? He's like, what are you doing here? Right. Tyrion compliments Jaime on and unsentimentally abandoning the Lannister seat of Casterly Rock, while Jaime wishes him dead for killing their father Tywin. Snapping, an emotional Tyrion points out that their father knew he was innocent, but still condemned him to death nonetheless, having hated him all his life for being born a dwarf. Now, and also now Jaime knows that is like that he didn't actually kill Joffrey either, so he knows that as well. He has that going for him. When Jaime demands to know what Tyrion wants, he responds that Jaime knows that Daenerys will win the last war and tells him that Daenerys is willing to make peace with Cersei under certain conditions. He tells Jaime about Daenerys's terms. I just wrote down this meeting was so hard for Jaime, but you could tell he still loves his brother. Like I really like that, and honestly, sick move on Bronn's part.
But
like,
I think Tyrion's being
for
honest
putting
too,
this together
by saying the same thing, because he's saying, I mean, you're not gonna win, man.
Yeah.
Dude, there's no
and he
way.
knows this. That's what I mean. Like, and he already knows that, right? So it's kind of like an olive branch, right? That he's giving him. But I like Bronn too, that he actually did this still for him, like for Tyrion. Like he still like kind of can confide in him and that and trust him in that sense, right? So meanwhile, Davos visits Flea Bottom and eventually finds Gendry in a smith on the Street of Steel. And
still doing
forget about this dude.
No, he's the bastard.
I knew he went off, but this reminded me that it was Davos, that one that put him in the boat. Remember when he was about to sacrifice him? Yeah. And he's like, I don't know how to row a boat. He's like, well, then learn to swim. Or he's like, I don't know what to tell you. And he remember when he told he fucked him off into the boat, like because he was about the witch was going to sacrifice him, blood sacrifice him.
Right? I remember what happened, and then because he was isn't it because he was one of the bastards too? And
no, because he was the true son of the Baratheons.
Oh, and they found out after. Yeah, they had thought originally he wasn't.
He was supposed to be the king.
Yeah, that's when they went around and killed everybody, and Davos got rid of him.
Joking that he thought he would, he might still be rowing by then. He confirms that no one has given him a second glance and realizes that Davos has come to bring him for something important. Having never been happy with serving the family who murdered his father and tried to kill him, he explains that he's been preparing for such a moment and readily agrees to come with them. Yeah, like right away. He's like, where are we going? He just grabs his axe. He's like, let's do it. Bro, but like he was just like, I just wanted to make sure you're safe. He's like, oh, really? You need help? Okay, let's go. Like he's just like so ready to leave, right? He's like, you think I want to be here? Fuck this.
He already had his weapon ready and everything, man. He's like,
so
you know how to use the sword. And
I love how he
use this.
Yeah, I love how he's
That just fucking killed me. It's like this guy was just raring to go.
That's right.
He doesn't have to.
I love the enthusiasm. Love the enthusiasm.
He didn't have 2 episodes to build that up.
Love the enthusiasm. He explains that he's been preparing for such a moment and readily agrees to come with them. When Davos warns it will be dangerous that he should take one of his swords in the shop, he points out that he's never been taught to fight properly and is only good with a hammer. Retrieving from the back of the shop a warhammer, a maul with a stag's head design on either side of the socket, likely forged by himself and referencing his Baratheon roots. There you go.
It's pretty sick. Bro.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sick fucking thing to have, man. They call it a hammer, but yeah, fuck, man. What a weapon.
And this next scene, great scene. A great fucking Davos scene. Davos, he's slick as hell, this guy. Later on the shores of Blackwater Bay, Davos and Gendry, having placed his hammer in Davos's boat, prepare to leave, but are spotted by a pair of gold cloaks. Davos pretends to be a common smuggler and bribes the guards with coin. He strikes up a conversation with the guards, and on being asked about his cargo, he shows them he is transporting fermented crab, which is such a slick move because you're like, oh, the jig is up here, right? And he's like, oh, look, and he puts the blanket over like the other shit, and he's like, oh, crab.
Fermented crab. Okay, so fermented crab, wasn't that
it's an aphrodisiac, basically.
Okay, but isn't that just like rotten crab if it's fermented? Like that sounds nasty.
Yeah, it probably is nasty. That's what I mean. Like,
but it's supposed to give him a boner.
That's what he claims, right? Yeah, it's like an aphrodisiac,
could
essentially.
Be just a joke, right? We don't even know. Maybe he's just saying it, right?
But his line, I wrote it down here. He's like, if I were you guys, I'd hurry to your favorite establishment, or you put a hole through that chainmail. yeah, bro. Like seriously. After, because you see the munching.
Takes me a second to understand what he was saying at first.
Because you're like, hey, what do you got in there? Because they're like, he's like, oh, you're gonna bribe us with money. What else do you got, right? And then he's like, oh boy, it's just some fermented crab. He's like, you can have some if you want. And they start like munching on it. He's like, hey, you better get over to your favorite establishment. You're gonna put a hole through that chainmail.
But where did the fermented crab come from anyways? It just was there in the boat?
He put it there purposely, I'm sure, to that's what I mean.
Yeah,
he's smart. He's fucking smart. So like they can trick people.
It threw me off too. I was like, where did
bro, he's a man of the sea. This guy is almost he's a pirate. He's a man of the sea.
Knows how to roll a boat.
Yeah. All right, so slick can talk his way out of everything, right? So because he doesn't, like he says, he doesn't know how to fight well, so he has to talk his way out of things, right?
Fucking fermented crab.
He shows them he is transporting fermented crab, an aphrodisiac that is popular with the city's brothels. He uncovers the crab while pulling the cloth aside to hide the warhammer and gives each guard a sample. The guards are satisfied, if slightly disgusted, with Davos's explanation and bribe and prepare to depart. But Tyrion arrives at the exact moment, realizing it's too late to turn back and not look suspicious. Tyrion walks past them to the boat while looking downward. However, one of the guards recognizes him by his scar and asks him to stop.
Oh, yeah, like it was his scar that recognized
They
him.
realize that he is indeed Tyrion Lannister and immediately see through Davos's deception. With their backs to Gendry and the boat, and before they can react, he kills them both by smashing their skulls in with his hammer. Sick fucking move, bro.
Once I seen that's what he was going to use it for, I was like, nice.
And this line, again, is awesome. Like, Davos, slightly like shocked by this, introduces Gendry to Tyrion, who observes, and he's like, okay, he'll do. He's good with his hammer or whatever. He's like,
you could tell he had the muscle too to hold that thing, right? Like, it just looked like a
Tyrion just like looks at him. He's like, all right, he'll do. Yeah, just see that. Oh boy,
you're all Westeros boy. That's what he was.
Later at the Red Keep, Qyburn is visiting Cersei when Jaime enters her chambers. Jaime tells Cersei that he met with Tyrion. When Cersei asks if Daenerys wants to negotiate a surrender, Jaime tells her that Daenerys is seeking a truce due to the threat posed by the army of the dead. Cersei knows that Bronn secretly organized the meeting between Tyrion and Jaime. Cersei says that perhaps an alliance with Daenerys may be a wiser move, but she still retains her determination to destroy any force that would stand against her. She's sneaky. She knew about that meeting this whole time. She's got ears everywhere, right? Got eyes and ears everywhere, Cersei. She also asks if Jaime plans to punish Bronn for arranging the meeting with Tyrion. Cersei then reveals that she is pregnant with another of Jaime's children. Quite the reveal. Quite the reveal.
I was trying to think, has she had sex in the last little while with him? I mean, without him, with somebody else?
Yes, she woke up with him. Remember when she became queen, and then the people came to the door?
They came to the door, so that was the okay.
Why do you not believe this?
No, I'm thinking like, fuck, she's the queen. She can fuck anybody.
It's possible she's lying.
Yeah, but she's okay.
I'm just saying, don't put it faster.
Fuck the next 2 episodes.
Don't put it faster.
I'm more confused.
So anyway, she reveals that she's pregnant with one of Jaime's children, and after reflecting on their late father's advice that the lion does not concern himself with the opinions of the sheep, she hugs Jaime and whispers in his ear that he is never to betray her again. She's got him twisted around her fucking finger.
She says that. Yeah, she says that, like stuff like that.
Jaime's all beside himself now. He doesn't know what to do, right?
Poor guy. He's stuck in the rock and a hard place.
I love that you feel the same way about Jaime as I do at this point in time, because I really feel for the guy at this point. Like, I've come fully around. Like I told you. Yeah. I told you when we started this show, his story arc is one of the best for me, in my opinion.
I mean, we haven't even talked about even Brienne showing up or not showing up. You know what I mean? I don't even know what's going on with that relationship.
Davos and Tyrion return with Gendry to Dragonstone. At the Dragonglass mines, they meet Jon Snow, who is supervising the diggings and excavations. He remarks that Jon is a lot shorter than he expected, and immediately blurts out his true parentage on the assumption that Jon will value honesty and will appreciate the idea of Ned Stark and Robert Baratheon's bastards joining forces. Gendry volunteers to accompany Jon on his mission to the north to capture a White and convince Queen Daenerys and Queen Cersei that the true war lies to the north. And he's on board. There you go. Yeah.
Let's use his hammer.
As Jon Snow and his party, including Jorah and Mormont, prepare to depart on boats for Eastwatch by the Sea, Daenerys and her entourage arrive to bid them farewell. Daenerys quips to Jorah that they should be used to saying farewell to each other. Jon arrives at the beach as they are saying goodbye. Jon, flirting with her, that if their mission is unsuccessful and he doesn't return, she at least won't have to deal with the king in the north anymore. She responds that she's grown used to him, hinting that she may have feelings for him. At this point, you're like, okay, just fuck already, you two, these guys, right? Like, come on. Jon wishes her good fortune in the wars to come before he leaves. Daenerys and Tyrion watches Jon Snow and his party depart on their boats for Eastwatch. What'd you think of that one, Jay? Any comments on that?
No.
On their relationship? You're going to be tight-lipped for now. Later that night, Gilly reads High Septon Maynard's diary in the old town there. She tells Sam the High Septon issued an annulment for Prince Rhaegar so that he could marry another woman in Dorne. This new marriage indicates that any children Rhaegar may have with his new wife, presumably Lyanna Stark, are his true-born children and not bastards. Oh. The enormity of the discovery is lost on both of them when Gilly is ignorant of Robert's rebellion and Sam being preoccupied with his own misery. Big things may be revealed here.
Oh, I know. I know. I'm reading along with you.
Sam complains about having to inscribe the bodily functions of High Septon Maynard. In exasperation with his situation, Sam stalks out of the room and goes to the library. He grabs several books and other items. After a contemplative look at the atrium of the room, he meets Gilly in the courtyard of the Citadel, where she and Sam wait for him in a wagon. And Sam pulls a Sam yet again. Very hasty fucking guy with his quick decisions, but he's a man of action, as Jay said. When Gilly asks if he is sure whether he wants to give up his studies, Sam replies that he is tired of reading about the achievements of better men, quoting his father as they ride off into the night. What do you think about him in this scene, man? You like Sam? He's a pretty fucking ballsy guy after all,
You know what's
right?
funny, too, is that I didn't realize
he's
that it was in that episode, and then there was something that's related in that I didn't. I wrote it down here, too, and I didn't even clue in.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I liked that he's
takes action when he needs to.
Yeah, he's taking it on his own to correct things too. Like he's not. He wants things to be right. He's not any kind of fighter. We've already established that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And he just seems to be an all-around great guy.
But that's what I mean. He's the hero that you don't really normally expect.
That flies under the cover.
Yeah,
man. He's like your second-hand hero, man. Like who wants to be the hero that's in second place?
Like as a result, though, he's had to ditch so many things that he was determined to kind of see through, though, because he always has to act on certain things that changed in the story. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like he's like the everyman. You know what I mean?
He's got to keep quiet too sometimes, right?
He's the everyman. He's the guy that like other people that don't feel like that they're very heroic can look to and be like, look, this guy did it. You know what I mean? Like, so
the jack of all trades, but he's like the knowledge of all trades, you know, like of everything, bro. This guy's, and he's just too nice.
Much later, Arya stalks.
I thought he would have been dead already.
Much later, Arya, if he didn't have friends like John, though, he would have.
No, but you know what? If he didn't always bend the truth for everybody, I think he would have. He's been able to keep his mouth quiet when he's needed to, and talked when he's needed to, so that he can get through the situation, navigate. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He knows this world.
Yeah. Much later, Arya stalks Littlefinger as he is walking through the grounds of Winterfell. Sansa. Arya sees him speaking with a servant. She is too far to hear their conversation, then follows him to his personal quarters and sees him chatting at the door with Maester Wolken. She eavesdrops on Peter, asking Wolken if he is sure that this is the only copy. Assured that it is, Peter replies that Lady Stark thanks him for his services. Peter then briefly enters his room and leaves once again. Arya enters his chamber and rummages through his study and furniture. Hidden under his mattress, she finds a scroll. This turns out to be the scroll that Sansa wrote long ago to Robb, urging him to yield to Joffrey. Arya, unaware that Sansa had written the letter under duress from Cersei in an attempt to save their father, looks horrified. She rolls up the scroll and sneaks out of the room, oblivious to a grinning Littlefinger watching behind a wall with the creepiest fucking face ever on his fucking... He's like, Arya. I know, it's the creepiest fucking look he's ever given out of all the creepy looks he's done. Yeah. The little smile that he has on his face. He's like,
and he's looking at a lot younger woman too.
But it's kind of sneaky to try to get one up on her in this.
I liked him better when he was just running the brothels, man.
Agreed.
Straight up, man. He fit better into that game.
Yeah, he's gotten himself in a situation here where I don't think he's suited for exactly what you said. Yeah.
He's gotten himself in too deep. You know, as where we can see Varys still is. Guy,
Varys is still basically doing the same thing, but again for somebody else.
But he's
still doing
his
this
hand,
right. Yeah. He's ended up better than he.
And he doesn't seem so creepy for some reason.
Varys,
maybe it's because he's got no balls.
Baelish is just like Arya.
Yeah. Varys doesn't let vagina get in his way. Baelish is thinking all about it.
Arya leaves, and then he's just like, I don't know.
That was like, that's like a fucking Homer Simpson thing that you send me all the time. Yeah, when it comes out of the bush, you fucking guy.
Anyways, as we round out the end of the episode here, at Eastwatch by the Sea, which they've already got to. They already got there, guys.
That's so quick. Bro, next scene. Camera got there quick. Boat got there quick. Everything.
Yeah. I know. It's whatever.
Fuck.
After landing at Eastwatch, Jon Snow and his band meet with the wildling Tormund. who thinks that John's plan is suicidal and mockingly asks which of the two ferocious queens is it that they need to convince. John replies both.
This whole scene is awesome.
Yeah, man. Tormund's great.
Now that, but now that I read the whole thing, yeah, I forget his quotes are the best.
Yes, yes.
Fuck.
I knew you'd like him, but they kind of used him very sparingly.
Yeah.
But now
I can try and look for his quotes on
in this season and next season. You're going to see a lot of Tormund.
Oh, I like him, man.
He's one of, by the end, the last season,
my favorite ginger.
In the last season, out of nowhere, he became a lot of fans' favorite character, which is rare in a show that's
like my favorite ginger.
Yeah.
And I can use that word, right? That's the right way to say
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Davos volunteers to stay behind at Eastwatch because he regards himself as a liability given his age and relative lack of fighting ability.
Smart.
They later learn that the Night's Watch has detained members of the Brotherhood without banners, including Beric, Thoros, and Sandor Clegane, the Hound. John and his team meet with the prisoners in the icy cells beneath Eastwatch, where the entire group swiftly establishes their reasons for hating each other. Gendry says that they should not trust Thoros because the Brotherhood sold him to the Red Witch. This is great because everyone has history with each other here, raising Davos and John's hackles. Thoros, in turn, is surprised to see Jorah, an old comrade and rival from the siege of Pike.
Yeah, they don't like Mormont, right?
Sorry?
They had an old thing before with Jorah, the Brotherhood with banners. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had it at first and then
yeah. But we don't really know about their history until now, though.
Yeah, they didn't mention it until we might have heard it in passing.
Because Jorah has a lot of history before Daenerys.
Well, he has a lot of history that we don't even know about, bro.
Well, they've talked about it. Yeah, things. They've talked that Ned banished him essentially because he was a slave trader.
Yeah, but where that's coming up. I remember them talking
Anyways,
about that. But yeah, you don't really notice.
No,
like, he's just always been tagging along.
But that's what I wrote here. All the connections of people hating on one another, all fighting for the same purpose at the edge of the world, as they say in this scene, is pretty great. It's kind of great that they kind of came together.
That's what I wrote too. I said, but they're all gonna join together to fight.
It's great. It's great because they all have
wrote the same thing because that's the way I felt, man.
It's great. While the wildlings, Mormont, and the Brotherhood without banners distrust each other, they decide to put aside their differences to fight against the army of the dead. Sandor quips that the cells are freezing. After they are freed, Jon, Jorah, Tormund, Gendry, Sandor, Beric, and Thoros exit Eastwatch's gate and set out into the lands beyond the wall on their dangerous mission to capture a white to bring to Daenerys and Cersei.
Looks cold up there.
And because he says we're all on the same side and we're all breathing.
But the best part of that, Tormund's best fucking line, I think, is that, and he was talking to John. He said,
"Yeah, go ahead."
He asks about the big woman.
Oh yeah, he's like, "Is she there or is she coming?" Yeah.
You know, that was
the big one.
Oh my god. And the references he makes later on, man. But
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Holy.
And that's the episode, guys. Eastwatch. This is a good one. Yeah, and honestly, with that ending where they ended off knowing what comes next in the next episode, what a fucking great episode, man. So yeah, guys, you got to tune in next week to check out the next one. And as always, these come out at 8 p.m. on Thursdays, guys. I don't think we're going to end up missing a week by the time this show is over because we're just rounding out the last episodes for this season. And then we have our guest Christina joining us for all of season 8, as I previously mentioned, the last 6 episodes. So yeah, we should have everything out on time for you guys. As always, thank you for watching these things.
Always.
Like and subscribe, and see you guys next week. Always a great time. Jay, thank you.
We'll see you beyond the wall, bro.
There you go.